Okay, so this is our overall best 11. I'm just gonna go through year. This season, I don't remember what happened. I think we didn't win the league, which was disappointing. I don't remember much about the first year we played. Stages, first year. Oh yeah, we got second, which got us into Europa League qualifications. And then the second year we won second place, and then it's all just been first since. And this was a one undefeated we had. This was the second undefeated we had. And then it's mostly one loss. Oh yeah, here's the third one. That was our first undefeated in 2024. Who do we draw to? ZTE, Sesker, who got relegated, of course. Baju, who should have been relegated, and Mezikovic said, which should have got relegated. Okay, so yeah, we got second this year. This is the year we got thumped by fucking Lazio. Yeah, Guressi got a. No, we already got thumped by that point. I kind of gave up. And the next year, we lose to Ludogorets in the second qualifying phase after we win the first in away goals, and then we beat Korabag on away goals. Yeah, and then we beat IEK for the second time, and then we get to Eurogroup, and we lose 1-0 and 0-0 to Lazio. I mean, the year before, yeah, we got absolutely stomped, and that happened. Okay, and if you were to look at our best 11 between those 2 years, we actually improved a ton. So this is the year we got thumped. We got this dude who retired. Never a good look when he's playing League 2. Grussi and Bodie and Bahia were like our only good players. Simonek was good, but he was aging. Harris was goodish, but he was still developing. So like this team between Bahia, Bodie, and Guressi had 3 good players. And then the next year, we got Rafa Piaz, who had a good number of starts for us. He came from League 2 France as well, but at least he came from Liverpool and Real Madrid's academies. He had the ability to play the ball. We also had Tiger Barca again on a free, who got a release clause met to Switzerland, so we didn't keep him. He was our actual best player on paper, but not in actual performance. Riku Risky, who had a good run, a good 2 years with us. Christian Tomas was actually a really good player, I think. Yeah. This guy, he was good. He should have been starting. Should have way more starts for the Hungarian national team. He was the best left back in Hungary by far, but I had to sell him to Spain because he got mad at me. And then we get Fedorowski, who's actually a really good goalkeeper until we had to sell him to Liege. As you can tell, we got him on a free. This is when we had Yari Ostovic, who was very good all around, but wasn't. He had like an average of 13 stats. Mark Vart was actually a really good signing for us. He actually scored the game-winning goal in extra time versus Bayer 04 in the Europa League that I should have lost 100,000%. But hey, they got FM'd. I played defensive, I played smart. I don't remember this guy. Who the fuck was this guy? I don't remember him. I think. Oh, I think I signed him as an emergency backup position because something about my left backs. Then we also had this guy on loan for a year. Zhang Lepeng was good for a year, the 2 years we had him. He was just our right back for a bit before going to Poland as well. And then this year is when we had a major power spike. First off, we get Galloway, who's a championship level player, so one of the better players on the team. Felix Agu he's solid all around. He played forward for us. Like, he could overlap, he could provide attacking depth, and yeah, he had solid performances until we sold him to Puskas Academy. He was only for 43k. Then we also got Roland Kovacs from MTK at this time, he's got solid performances. He's right now, Roma wants him. I'm actually going to sell him. I'm going to wait till his contract comes out, and I'm going to get my backup right back. Like, as you can tell, good physicals, good mentals, doesn't go forward. But he's played solid all these years. We also had Ahmed Al-Azad, which, as you can tell, was a good purchase. If he's at PSG, is worth 77 million. Only thing is, we only kept him for 2 years and had to sell him to Arsenal because he was a crybaby. This is the year also we got Mahai Alaku, which is now at Fulham, worth 45 million. He just didn't fit my 4-4-2, and he is an AMC to boot, so he had to go. Like, he just didn't have the defensive capabilities of what I wanted in my squad, so he had to go. But when he was here, he was great, and he was transfer listed by Pukas Academy for 1.1 million, and he was worth it. And then we also had finally Johan Mascara, which, as you can tell, physically good, good composure, good decisions. His off the ball, that kind of stuff could be better, but good heading, good finishing, good first touch. Like, he was a star player for us. It took a while for him to get going, but as you can tell, 17 appearances, 15 goals, 12-7 in Continental, 14-11 in Continental, and then he kind of was bad and just sent off to Saudi Arabia. It's been there since. Anyone else we should care about? We'll talk about the Tang next. Oh, Roland Hagedis. So Hagedis, he's an Inter right now. Good physicals, good decision, good first touch, good technique, good passing, decent defensive ability. Like, he was good, and he was my own region, which was great. Next season. Oh yeah, we should probably go over. So that was 21-21 when we had Ostravik, Mark Farr. Yeah, so this was before we had our better strikers. And next year, this is for the year we had Tigran. As you can tell, we get better. We get a win versus Sparta Prague. Lose Dynamo, lose Napoli, draw Napoli. I was very proud of that. Draw Sparta Prague, win versus Dynamo. And those were good results. We didn't make it past, but I was happy. Next year, we get to TNS, then Shakhtar, then we lose to Copenhagen, and then we just crushed this team. I don't know how they made it that far. Draw against Spain, draw against Ludogorets. Ahmed Al-Azad scored a goal against Jordan Stacho's Arsenal. Drew the next time with Peter Barath, who, by the way, is I didn't actually mean to sell him for 600k. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. I was mad. But he's been there for a while, that's for sure. And then, yeah, this is Mark Vart scoring the 118th minute goal against Bayer 04. Very lucky. We did not deserve to win that game. Then we beat Zenit 4-0 somehow. And then we lose to Napoli. So we go next year. Let's look at club. Where were we at in best 11? Alright, well, so we're going to 23-24. 23-24, yeah, we beat Ludogorets in Champions League, and then we beat KRC Ghent in the playoffs. And we get fucking stomped. We had a draw versus Man United, though. Woo! So for squad for that year, Barexi, who was actually shit. He was, he was just a backup really most of the time. But apparently he did good enough that season to get into the... I don't know. That's the season where we buy Nathaniel Testoni, apparently, which he's back in Argentina after having a stint in Leeds. I guess he played decent. He played mostly backups. Okay, well, power to them. This was our first Premier quality player, was it? Yeah, it was. Who we loaned from Bakashir. And then this is Hegedus, another region we had, who's I just loaned to Enter because he's not in the first team plans as well. Solid, good player, good player. And I don't know if I've talked about Bahia yet, but he is another reason why we're doing good. We loaned him to Shakhtar until they let me sign him on a free, and yeah, he became a Hungarian citizen, has 70 caps for the national team. He was one of the best midfielders for Hungary once he got there. And then we also got Jeremy Vanek at this time, who didn't develop as much as we wanted him to. He was actually developing nicely until we sold him to Roma, and then he's only 26 still. Jesus. He got better than what he was before, but it seemed like his potential wasn't going to be reached. That's good to see. And then at this point we also had Dennis Molina, who we got on a free from Colombia, whose release clause was matched. And now he's at Crystal Palace, doing things there, worth $25 million right now. So that was 23-24, which that was the year we got fucked. So the next year, 24-25, we destroy Europa. Then we get Finnish team. Then we get Trevana, who Slovakian, and then we get Rangers, who we beat 1-0, and we get fucking stomped again. Shout out to Alacu making that goal for getting us another 800k. It was clutch. And for that season, this is when we finally get Escalante, who is a beast. We also have Botan Horvath this season, who was a good defensive midfielder. Never could really consistently crack the first team lineup, but he was good. He's been just chilling in Bundesliga 2. I think he could be in Bundesliga 1, honestly, but maybe I'm biased. We had Tibor Torek then, who is honestly pretty crap, but he was the best left back I had, and he was also a homegrown talent, so you'd love to see it. Next season, we get this guy, Nemanja Merek, who, as you can tell, is a very good player. Finishing is to be desired. Vision's kind of to be desired. Off the ball's kind of to be desired, but good physicals, good first touch, good technique. He's a good player, good composure. And yeah, Escalante, absolute monster. Oh, then this is when we get Basas Molnar, who, as you can tell, is a pretty good player. I don't like how he's on loan at Zenit because I have not 15 million. 4.25 million in another 15 appearances. And we also got him from Puskás Academy. And this is when we get Gabor Horvath from Ujpest, who's supposed to be a good striker with his decisions, player off the ball, vision, pace, all that. But he just never performed well, and then Madrid bought him for 41 million and then never used him, so Not my problem. And this is when we get Geza Megarai, who's better than Kovacs in every way, shape, or form, but he was still developing at this point. We bought him from Farrakos, actually. We had Tibor Patakai, who we got from VDFC, who he did good. He could have been better. We'll put it that way. He wasn't up to par for the first 2 minutes, so I sold him. This guy we had loaned for 2 years. He's now at PSG as well. This is the year actually we won the Euro Cup with this guy, this Hungarian, or this Georgian, as the goalkeeper. Sold him to France for $2 million, and he's back in Hungary for $600K. We had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain playing a lot of sub appearances, but he performed in cup games as death because, yeah. This is the year where we made it second out of groups, edging out Atletico Madrid or SLB, and then losing to Liverpool. As I said, we get third in this group of Inter, Schalke, Man United, which was disappointing, but hey, we won the Euro Cup on it. A little lucky to win the penalty shootout versus Dynamo. Lucky to beat Tottenham, honestly, as well, but hey. So 27-28. Apparently with 3 wins and a draw, we make it out of groups. Beat Man City on a fucking storm. As you can tell, this is when we had John Lennon as well. Beat Liverpool by the skin of our teeth. Beat Olympique Marseille barely again from the last year after beating them in the final. And then losing to Arsenal 2-0. Which, this guy's an absolute monster on Arsenal's side. And if you could see, we finally got John Lennon, who absolute monster, absolute monster. It's a shame we didn't win the Champions League that year, but there's been issues with the squad that have needed to be addressed first. So next year, yeah, we got John Lennon. This guy was pretty shit. Mark Toth, who is pretty good as well. He's the current backup DLP. We got Robert Kovacs, who's now the new backup left back to Tibor, or to our new guy instead of Tibor Torek. We got Rodrigo James for 2 years, 4 years, who we bought from Tigres, but Chelsea matched his release clause, like how I matched theirs, and he went away. Roberto Carlos, who we had for a short time, who's pretty good. 2 caps for Argentina. Again, I was just getting rid of AMCs. I didn't see a use for him. Ilian Hidalgo, who we just needed a backup. So yeah. This is when we had Ilo Demanka, who was our first good center mid. Who we bought from AEK, who we only had for 1 calendar year before selling to Tottenham because his wages, I just was like, fuck it, yeah, it's too high. We get Richard Ruiz-Diaz this year, who, as you can tell, absolute beast for dirt fucking cheap. We get Julia Bravo this year, who we finally sold, not finally, but matched his release clause, and I was just like, yeah, I can get rid of him. I don't really see that much in him. Too slow. He's got jumping reach but not good heading. He's missing pieces to the puzzle. still have Bahia, by the way. Next year, we get Bielossi, who, as you can tell, absolute fucking monster. Bottom 5 million, dirt cheap. We get Burak Kalistan, who's Turkish and Dutch, so he doesn't count as international, which was clutch for a backup. Paid 10 million. He's done well. When James gets spot, I got Spathis as my new goalkeeper, which I did a shuffle of goalkeepers with Everton last January. We get Philippe Krizik here, who's absolute monster. So we're at 30-31. Oh, and we also get Stephanie Raycon, who is our number 3 striker now, behind a new signing and John Lennon. So we're going to 30-31. So yeah, 2028, we go beat Krasnodar in the quarters, only losing to Barcelona once and then beating them. And then we beat Roma, and then we lose to Liverpool after a 1-1 draw at home. Next year, beat West Ham, who has a surprisingly good team. As you can tell, they had Rashford. They also had a dude named Marco Polo. Will Cooper's also pretty good. But lose to Valencia, who has a good team. Beat Borussia Dortmund at home 2-1, but then lose to PSG in the quarters. And then we play Arsenal again, who is apparently our bogey team. Beat Real Madrid in a fucking crazy... We were up +3, so like 6-3, and apparently we bottled it. But we had a 2-goal lead until the 86th minute, and then we were still ahead. And then 2-2 away, but we lose 1-0 on extra time first half goal. And then the next year, this is last year, we lose to Arsenal in the final after drawing to SLB. Beating Sporting on away goals, beating Monaco, beating Chelsea. And our squad for that year, I don't think we improved that much, actually. We got this guy, who's pretty good, but Zarate and Reyes Diaz are better. We bought him for 250k from this Portuguese team that I can't pronounce for the life of me, but they always have good regions. And then recently, we got a couple new cool players. This guy's our new future MR now that we sold Julio Bravo. This guy, we just needed a midfielder super bad, so I signed this guy because this is our previous number, like our second midfielder, which he's good, but he's not Champions League winner good yet. So, yeah. We got this guy who is replacing Lamolet because he only had a year left on his contract. He wasn't going to sign, so it was like, fuck it. He's gone. And then Gaston Gomez, who was transfer listed from Leicester City. And yeah, he's an absolute beast, as you can tell, laying low jumping reach, but otherwise, absolute beast. And Tadmore was also transfer listed by Man City. So yeah, that's how my squad improved over all those years.